Welcome to the Aussie Workshop Australia. Today we're going to be
pulling apart a mountain bike. I'm going to show you step by step how to pull a mountain bike apart. So, let's get right. So as you can see, I've got the seat post off. Now, this way, if you want to change your seat over, so this is how you change your seat over. You'll just loosen these off, put your difference that on, tighten them up, and you different these seat posts. But if you got a problem that your seat posts won't tighten up, so say this is tightening down and this keeps going up and down, you might have change the mechanism over. So this is the internal part of the part where your seat holds on. Now, as you can see, these things got little teeth on them. Now, if these things are really flat or really worn down, it's about time to replace it. That could be why your seat's moving and not staying where it's meant to be. So I'll go to the next step. I'll see you. The next step is we're going to take the front wheel off. Now, with these front wheels, you might have a bolt like this one here, where you just get a spanner or a wrench and loosen it left ways, or you have a crick release, which is literally loosening this way. You push it up there, and it's tightened. You flip it down, it's loosened, and then you play with. And if it's like that, you just spin this till it's loose, and then your wheel just pop off. So I'm going to pull the wheel off now. I'll see you in a bit. So once you get your nuts or your lever loosened, you go now to disconnect the brakes. Now, with this bike here, you've got this V-shaped sort of brakes where the cable, there's on either side, meets up to one, and then that's your brake cable. Now, to get your tire off, you'll have to loosen off. So this nut here, you would loosen that off, and these would open up, and you usually slide your tire out. But if you've got these sort of brakes, you literally got to pull these off, and the brakes come off, and then you can flip your tire out. And then you do the same thing again if you want to put it together. So I'm going to pull the brakes off, and I'll see you in a second. Now that your brakes are loosened, we're going to pop the tire off, and we're going to put it into the vise here. Now, you might not have a vise, so you can easily do it on the floor or lean against something, or just lay on top of a workbench and do it that way. But in my case, I'm going to put in the vise, and then we'll continue from there. As you see, it's in the vise now. Now, I've got it on there, because I haven't got a block thing, which are expensive these days. I'm just using the vise to hold it up right there. And I've got a chair in front of the tire here, so it doesn't go over. And the next step is we're going to disconnect the derailleur. Now, all it is literally the nut right here, where the cable goes through, you got to loosen that off. So once that's loosened off, you can literally get your cable. This one's a bit hard at the moment because it's a bit tight with the foot. Oh, Jesus. It's not off. If it hasn't come out, just loosen it off completely. And there's your cable off. Now, next step is we're going to loosen this part off here. So literally unscrew it with left. See loosey, right it tighty. This one you got to loosen, so it's left. Keep spinning it. There you go, it's disconnected. So to disconnect your front trailer, you got to loosen this nut off here, which holds the cable in, which is right at the top here, over your front derailleur. Once you loosen that, your cable comes straight out. Time for the next. Now we're going to disconnect the brakes. So, same process as before with the front brakes. Now, if you got the other sorts of brakes, you'll do the same for the back here. But in my case, I've got these nuts, so I'm going to loosen these off, and I'll see you in a second. So once you disconnected that, sorry for the thing on the camera. Now, once you got that, you got this part here, which is your V shape. And all you got to do from there is pull this down. This is disconnected, and now your cable is free. And after that, you just got to pull it out this little groove up here. Now, depending on which bike you have, this will be in different spots. So the closest to the brakes, basically, you'd pull that out. This one's got a sleeve to hold in place. You'd pull it through there. There's another sleeve down here and here. Just go to the front here, pull it straight out. And now it's off your frame. Now, same goes for your your back trailer. You pull that out. Yeah, some will have a sleeve, like a little cutout at the bottom here. In this case, this one doesn't. So to do that, you'll have to take this off. So you pull this bit off, which comes straight off. You get your sleeve, pull that off the cable, then your cable can go straight through. Now, they usually go underneath your bikes with most typical bikes I've played with. You got this plastic sleeve right here. Now, you can take this off with a screw that's right in the center here. But all we want to do at the moment is take the cable out. So you'll just pull it through here. And you do the same for your front trailer here. So you pull it through that bottom part. Go over to the front here. Pull it out your sleeve. And that's disconnected as well. Now, I'm going to disconnect the front brakes. Now, you've already seen it, so I'm going to do it off camera. And then we'll go to the next step. So for the next step, we're going to take the handlebars and the head stem off. Now, depending on who you are, you might like to take the gears, the brakes, the grips off first before you take all this stuff off. But in my case, I'll take this off first, and then I'll do this at the end. So to take this off, you'll need a 5.5mm Allen key. Now, some bike parts are different, so you might need different sizes. To have a stock of Allen key set, like this one here, I got from the cheap shop. So, all you got to do is go left to loosen it, and then you go right to tighten it. So, I'm going to loosen this off, and I'll see you in a minute. So once you loosen this off, now your handlebars should come straight off. Now, how these things work, it's like a wedge basically. So when it's in the handlebars, they will be usually straight, and then as they go in handlebars, this is going to move up, which wedges in place and holds it in the steering tube. That's how your handlebars hold on. Now with the newer bikes, it's completely different. I have no clue how they go because I prefer the old stuff. So I'm going to go to the next step, and I'll see you in a bit. So the next step is we're going to take the front and the rear brakes off. Now all you've got to do is get your Allen key, put it in there, and loosen it off. And your whole brake parts are going to come off. That's going to be the same for the back and the front. So I'm going to take these off, and I'll see you in a second. So once you take the back and the rear ones off, the nuts you get with them, which are these round ones that go into here, 50 to about 90% of the time, these will work with your rear bike rack mount for your bike. So if you lose your screws for your bike mount, for your racks, or you want to make a rack for it, these make good screws for it. And I've used them, and they work really well. But you may have to cut them shorter. You can use a hacksaw and grind to do that. But there's an option for you if you want some screws for your rack. So the next step, we're going to take the chain off. So to take the chain off, you've got two ways. One, you might have a master link in your chain. Now, I don't have a master link with me, so I can't show you what it looks like. But it looks completely different. It stands out like anything. And you'll see it. It's literally you got to pull the pin of the master link out, and your chain comes apart. Now, in my case, I don't have a master link, and I'm going to use a chain breaker. Now, this one here, I had to modify. It was off a multi-tool. And you can find these with multi-tools, or you can go to the bike shop and buy one. Now, don't buy the cheap ones because they usually break easily. Buy a decent quality one if you're going to break a lot of chains like I do. Now, this one here, you can see I've got a bolt through with the screw head thinned out because I had to modify it. Now, as this works, is you put your chain in there, in your chain breaker, and that little round pin there pushes that pin out, and your chain comes apart. So I'm going to screw this on, and I'll see you in a second. As you can see, the chain is broken here. You have to get it off, which is going to let that hang. Pull this to a derailleur here. Sorry, it's a bit hard with one hand. Let it chain through. One. Yeah, one end's not the best. There you go, with some brutal force. Now you can, oh, this thing's seized. That might be why. Pull it up for here. Now it's hanging about here. You get that. Pull it through here. Make sure your chains are getting on in it. And voila, your chain's off. Now you got a free non-pedalable bike. Now, time for the next step. So for the next step, you'll need a big spanner or some pipe pliers. Now my spanner is, wrench is way too small. Well, not too small, it's just too short. Which ways? So I'm going to use these. Now, to take this cassette off, you got to loosen this off. Now, this is opposite thread. Normally you would go left to loosen, right to tighten. In this case, you go right to loosen, left to tighten. As you can see, you loosen it with that. And then you can loosen it with your fingers. Now, you will take this all the way off. Once that's off, you go slide it off. Then you'll come to washer. Now, some of these, all of them, have a little groove in it. You'll see it better in person. Sorry about the line, it's pretty crap at the moment. And there's a little square part that comes down from the washer there. Now, there may be some of them I found that little square part is like here or here. It's from the turning of it. In this case, this one's pretty stuck. So I'm going to loosen it, and I'll see you in a second. Once you got it loosened, it'll literally just slide off like that with the other ones. Now you need a screwdriver. Now this is the same principle as before. Right to loosen, left to tighten. Now you gotta hold the crank arm here, put your screwdriver in here, and then you gotta push this to loosen it. Now this one's actually quite loose, so I can nearly do it with one hand. So you keep pushing this until it comes out. I'll do that and I'll see you in a second. So once that's loosened, you can slide it off. Now as you can see, there's some bearings there which helps this in. Now what you've got to do is let this roll down. Grab the other side. Turn about 90 degrees. And yank out, I'll pull it out and I'll see you in a second. So to get it off properly, you got to take the driller off, turn this up 90 degrees and pull it out like that. And then you get your crank set off. Now with these bearings here, if you need slingshot ammo, to make good slingshot ammo, I've got thousands of them. So you can use them for slingshot ammo, or if you're a blacksmith, you could probably make some domestic steel out of them. So in my case, I keep them in case I need new ones, because these ones actually aren't too bad. So I'll keep them in case I need some new ones. Next step is, we're going to be pulling the back tire off. So same process as the front tire. You'll either use a wrench or a spanner to take it off. And if you've got that quick release system, you can just do it that way. But in my case, I'm going to use a wrench. So I'm going to loosen this off, take it off, and I'll see you in a second. Now to take your rear driller off, you literally get your screwdriver or your wrench or spanner. Then go left, loosen it off. We'll slide down, and there's your driller off. Next, we're going to do the head tube. So, now to get the head tube off, you'll need your pipe wrenches or a big wrench. Now, this is lefty-loosey to loosen it off. So you loosen that off. Unscrew that. Now, you might have just a single washer, or you may have an attachment on it. If you're a different bike, And now, this one, sorry about the lighting, I'll get the torch here. Hang on. Now, you might be able to see it, might be a bit hard, but there's 3 notches, one at the top, one at the left, one at the right. Now, these notches, you'll have to get a screwdriver, put it into the notch, the screwdriver, and push left. And then loosen this off. Then once this comes off, you got this part here, which sits in and holds your bearing into place. And this one here, you just loosen this off as well. And as you get to the top, this will come off, like so. And as you can see, there's your bearings, which you can also use as a slingshot ammo, but they're very tiny though. So I shouldn't do really small hits. So once that is done, you lift your bike turn off, and voila, it's off. So that is literally the basics of pulling apart the bike. Now you got the reflector on there, which is literally unloosened and none, but the majority of it is basically complete. Same with this one, you got the white reflector there, but that's all held on by a nut. So that's how you pull the bike. See you in the next episode. So the next step is we're going to take the handlebars off. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. One, you just cut it off, which I'm going to do because these grips are very uncomfortable for my liking. Or you use some WD-40. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by WD-40. And we're going to put a screwdriver down here, lift the grip up. You can use your nozzle at the end of your spray, spray it in here, and then you do the same all the way around it, and then move it around, make sure it's all worked through, and make sure it's in a bit of a lean, so it goes down and doesn't go back up that way, so it trickles down, and then your grips will come off. But you'll have the problem of your grips will be greasy, and they'll just slide when you put them back on in the new handlebars. The way to fix that is to use some degreaser. Yeah, I haven't got any degreaser at the moment to do it, so I can't show you. But you'd spray a degreaser inside, let it sit for a bit, then wash it off, and you do that a few times, and then all your WD-40's off. So I'm going to cut these off, and I'll see you in a second. So next we're going to take the gear shifter and the brakes off. Now, these ones here, you use a screwdriver to unloosen, but most bikes, you'll have the Allen key one. And this one's a screwdriver, so it's quite simple really. Now, when you tie these down, if you're putting them on your bike, make sure they're tight, but not too tight. So if you're in a crash, it doesn't snap off. Make sure there's a little bit of movement. So if you crash your bike, it doesn't break it or damage it, or reduce it at least. So I'm going to loosen these up, and I'll see you in a second. So for the next step, you have to take this gear cable guide out. Now this is quite easy. You just got to grab your one end, pull it out, and your guide cable's off. Then the next step is where your lever, where your lever is, you get this little grey knob here. If you hook that up, sorry for the angle, I'm doing this one-handed, push the cable, it will stick out. And this is the end of your gear cable, which helps to pull the cable through. So what you do now, you pull it through. And your cable's gone. Now you got a gear shifter, which you can reuse. In this case, if I got a 5-speed push bike, I can use this gear shifter. Or, if you want to, you can use it for a 3-speed front derailleur. But you'll have the issue of knocking it off because you got the extra 2 gears. But you can use it for the front derailleur if you really have to. So, next time, we're going to pull the brakes apart. So for the next step, we're going to take this brake apart. So first of all, take this guide cable off. Hang on a second. There we go. Sorry for the back camera angle. Now, next step is every breaker will have this little notch here. Now, that's how you get your cable in and out, basically. Now, in this case, it's going to be very hard to do it one-handed. But, do your cable, pull it, unhook it there, pull your cable out, and voila. Sorry about that again. That's out. Now, there's different ways you get off. If you got this Allen key one, it's much easier. Basically, if you got these bits here, aligned with that, you literally just flick your cable out, it comes straight out. It's that simple. But these ones here are a bit harder, but it still comes out. Time for the next step. So once you got your grips, your gear shifters, your brakes off, you'll have, in my case, I've got to take it. Listen, high stop. Take your handlebars off. You just got to loosen this knot off here with a wrench or a spinner. So, once that's done, simply pull it through, and your handbars are all apart. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you pull apart a push bike. Hopefully enjoy, and see you in the next episode.